क्यों एक स्टेट के चीफ मिनिस्टर इतना पैसा खर्चा करते हैं? इट्स हैपनिंग एट अ स्केल की हार्वर्ड के लोग इधर आ रहे हैं पढ़ाई करने के लिए कि कुंभ मेला में होता क्या है।
कितना पैसा पता है? 15,000 करोड़ इज स्पेंट इन दिस महाकुंभ।
इट्स वाइल्ड।
इट्स वाइल्ड। प्रयाग एयरपोर्ट के 2 टर्मिनल और बन गए, 4 नए नेशनल हाईवे बन गए। मतलब पहले 2 किलोमीटर में घाट था, अभी 12 किलोमीटर में घाट है। तो 3,000 करोड़ ही मेले पे खर्च हुआ है, टॉयलेट लगाने में, व्यवस्थाएं लगाने में, टेंट लगाने में, जो टेम्पररी है। बाकी सब तो इंस्टॉलेशन परमानेंट लग गया। वो शहर का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अब हो गया। अब शहर का टूरिज्म बढ़ जाएगा। जो प्रोजेक्शन
के लिए कितना रेवेन्यू क्रिएट करेगा ये?
2 से 3 लाख करोड़ की।
But you know what I take and what I understand? The Samudra Manthan is the human body. The mountain is the spine. The grinding of devas and asuras is the thoughts, positive and negative. The halahal that is coming out is Shiv, which is drinking it and removing everything. And what remains is the nectar. Wow.
कैसे चल रहा है इस बार वापस? मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब भी कोई एक टॉपिक आता है इंडिया में जो इकोनॉमी, रिलीजियस सेंटिमेंट एंड कल्चरल के बीच का जो मिक्स होता है ना, उस टाइम पे मेरे को आपकी याद आती है।
क्या बात है, क्या बात है। That's very sweetly said and profoundly said.
इट्स हैपनिंग एट अ स्केल की पूरी दुनिया से लोग इधर आ रहे हैं।
पूरी दुनिया से लोग
हार्वर्ड के लोग इधर आ रहे हैं पढ़ाई करने के लिए कि कुंभ मेला में होता क्या है, अंदर क्या है, वो स्टडी कर रहे हैं, रिसर्च कर रहे हैं। स्टैनफोर्ड से लोग आ रहे हैं, राइट, अराउंड द वर्ल्ड। इनफैक्ट फॉरेनर्स आ रहे हैं इधर टू जस्ट एक्सपीरियंस कि ये हो क्या रहा है। पहले इकोनॉमिक्स समझते हैं, क्यों एक स्टेट के चीफ मिनिस्टर
इतना पैसा खर्च करें,
इतना पैसा खर्चा करते हैं, इतना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर
कितना पैसा पता है?
चीज़ें।
कितना पैसा पता है? 15,000 करोड़ इज स्पेंट इन दिस महाकुंभ।
एक इवेंट कितने दिन के लिए?
45 डेज।
45 डेज के लिए 15,000 करोड़ एक स्टेट का पैसा। इट्स वाइल्ड।
इट्स वाइल्ड।
इट्स ऑलमोस्ट 2 बिलियन।
लेकिन अभी 2 मिनट में ये आपको ठीक लगने लगेगा। आप खुद ही कहेंगे हाँ ये तो ठीक है,
ठीक है।
इसको चलो।
15,000 करोड़ कुंभ पे क्यों खर्च?
नहीं, पहले का 15,000 गए कहाँ? मतलब कहाँ खर्च हो गए? देखिए,
नहीं, पहले तो क्यों खर्चा होता है और फिर हुए कहाँ?
हाँ हो गई कहाँ? वो दोनों आंसर इंटरमिंगल्ड।
ठीक है।
2000 कुंभ तो हो रहा है, जब अखिलेश यादव थे तब भी कुंभ हुआ। 2013 में कुंभ हुआ, बड़ा कुंभ हुआ, हाँ पूर्ण कुंभ था वो भी। तब 1,000 करोड़ का बजट था। मैं कंपैरिजन में पता लगा ना भाई, ऐसा नहीं था कि बजट तो तब भी था। 1,000 करोड़ इज ऑल्सो नॉट अ स्मॉल अमाउंट। लेकिन वो 1,000 करोड़ से भी
15
जोगी बाबा ने 15,000 करोड़ कर दिया। उसमें 7,500 करोड़ मोदी जी का, 7,500 करोड़ योगी जी का। मतलब
हाँ,
सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट
वर्सेस स्टेट।
अब इसका सबसे पहला फैक्ट सुन के ही आप धराशायी हो जाएंगे। वो क्या है? इसमें 80%, बहुत ध्यान से सुनिएगा, इसमें 80% परमानेंट इंस्टॉलेशंस हैं। मतलब प्रयाग एयरपोर्ट के 2 टर्मिनल और बन गए, 4 नए नेशनल हाईवे बन गए, 2 नए एक्सप्रेसवे बन गए, है ना। जो घाट हैं वो पक्के घाट हो गए। मतलब पहले 2 किलोमीटर में घाट था, अभी 12 किलोमीटर में घाट है। जो आप कहते हैं ना इतनी भीड़ होगी, इतनी भीड़ आपको नहीं दिखेगी, वो तो योगी बाबा के ड्रोन को दिख रही है इतनी भीड़ केवल, है ना। आप तो अपने 1 किलोमीटर में है ना, तो वो जो पूरी भीड़ है जो 1 करोड़ की एक दिन आएगी, वो 12 किलोमीटर में स्ट्रेच हो चुकी है। ये क्राउड मैनेजमेंट का सबसे पहला प्रिंसिपल है कि क्राउड को डाइवर्ट कर दो, एक ही जगह पे चौक पॉइंट मत बनाओ। तो 12 किलोमीटर के बड़े बड़े घाट हो गए। वहाँ का सीवेज मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम, वहाँ के घाट, वहाँ के ब्यूटिफिकेशन, वहाँ के चौराहे। मतलब कल मेरी अर्बन सेक्रेटरी अमृत जी से बात हो रही थी, उन्होंने कहा कि जो प्रयाग है उसका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑलमोस्ट टॉप 10-20 सिटीज़ में आ जाएगा इसके बाद, जो अर्बन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होता है। देखिए प्रयाग की पॉपुलेशन आज कितनी है? 20-30 लाख। उसमें 50 करोड़ लोग आगे चले जाएंगे। तो कैन यू इमेजिन, जो मैंने 30 लाख के लिए बनाया है, आपका ये ऑफिस है, इसमें 25 लोग बैठते हैं, इसमें कल 400 लोग बिठा दूँ, 1000 लोग बिठा दूँ, तो नहीं झेल पाएगा ना ऑफिस, है ना। उसका टॉयलेट नहीं झेल पाएगा, उसकी लाइट नहीं झेल पाएगी, लोगों को गर्मी सर्दी लगने लगेगी, राइट। तो जो जगह 30 लाख लोगों के लिए बनी है, वहाँ 40 करोड़ लोग आगे चले गए और गवर्नमेंट ने उसकी फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड करी, तो उससे उसका अपना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अप हो गया। तो 80% इसका आप निकाल दो, कैलकुलेशन करते हैं 15,000 का 20% कितना होता है? 3,000 करोड़। तो 3,000 करोड़ ही मेले पे खर्च हुआ है। मेले पे मतलब टॉयलेट लगाने में, व्यवस्थाएं लगाने में, टेंट लगाने में, जो टेम्पररी है, ठीक है, जो इवेंट आपने वो इवेंट। बाकी सब तो इंस्टॉलेशन परमानेंट लग गया। वो शहर का इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अब हो गया। अब शहर का टूरिज्म बढ़ जाएगा जनरली भी, क्योंकि शहर अप हो गया। वहाँ पे फ्लाइट ईजी है, वहाँ पे ट्रेन ईजी है, वहाँ पे रोड ईजी है, वहाँ पे इतने सारे इंस्टॉलेशंस हो गए हैं, बड़ी बड़ी मूर्तियाँ लग गई हैं। मतलब इट्स लाइक अप टाउन नाउ, राइट। तो अब वो 3,000 करोड़ हो गया। पहले तो 15,000 से हम 3,000 पे आ गए। पिछली बार भी यही हो रहा था, अरे मोदी ने, योगी ने 4,000 करोड़ कर दिया। 2019 में अर्थ कुंभ था, तो योगी ने 4-4,500, बल्कि हमने पिछले पॉडकास्ट में बोला था, वो रील पता नहीं किसने चला दी, फिर से वायरल हो रही है वो। इस 4,000 करोड़ का हल्ला हुआ जब कुंभ खत्म हुआ। जब तक तो CII की रिपोर्ट आई, उन्होंने अपने रिसर्चर भेजे हुए थे, भाई इसने तो 1 लाख 1.25 लाख करोड़ की इकोनॉमी जनरेट कर दी इस 4,000 करोड़ ने। और उसकी कोई बड़ी खतरनाक कैलकुलेशन भी नहीं है। अभी योगी जी अयोध्या के लिए कोई इंटरव्यू दे रहे थे, आपको पता है ये पहला कुंभ है जो राम मंदिर बनने के बाद आया है। तो राम मंदिर का जो 1 साल है वो भी हो गया, उसके लिए कोई इंटरव्यू अयोध्या में दे रहे थे। अयोध्या में राम मंदिर जिसका हमने पॉडकास्ट किया था, राम मंदिर बनने से पहले 2-3 लाख लोग साल के आते थे, श्रद्धालु आते थे। श्रद्धालु और टूरिस्ट श्रद्धालु में भी मैं आपको डिफरेंस एक बार एक्सप्लेन करूंगा, है ना। तो श्रद्धालु आते थे। अभी वहाँ इस साल कितने लोग आए? 24 में 16 करोड़ लोग, मतलब 2 लाख
16।
मतलब मैं गैप भी मतलब पाई चार्ट बनाऊँ तो बहुत ग्राफ्स बनाऊँ तो बहुत ऊंचा हो जाएगा। 16 करोड़ लोग। BHU की स्टडी है, बहुत सारी स्टडी हैं। बिल्कुल एक लोअर मिडिल क्लास व्यक्ति भी आता है तो वो 3 से 5 हज़ार रुपये खर्च करता है डोर टू डोर। वो बस से आता है, वो ऑटो से आता है, वो अंदर ई रिक्शा यूज़ करता है, वो कलावे खरीदता है, वो पानी खरीदता है, वो कुछ खाना खाता है, वो घर के लिए मिठाई लेके जाता है, मूर्ति लेके जाता है, कुछ पटका खरीदता है, थैला खरीदता है, वो जो गंगा जल इकट्ठा करने का पीपा खरीदता है। वो 3 से 5 हज़ार करोड़ खर्च करता है। 3 हज़ार से 5 हज़ार रुपये खर्च करता है। 16 करोड़ लोगों ने खर्च करे उतने पैसे। उसमें फिर बड़े बड़े लोग भी हैं जो 5 स्टार होटल बन गए हैं, वहाँ पे रहते हैं, टैक्सी से आते हैं, एयरपोर्ट से आते हैं। तो उसने कम से कम 50 हज़ार से 80 हज़ार करोड़ की इकॉनमी अयोध्या के लिए जनरेट कर दी। तो सिमिलरली ये 45 आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, 3 से 5 हज़ार से एवरेज बिल्कुल मिनिमम से कैलकुलेट कर लीजिए, आपको पता लग जाएगा क्यों आई है। फिर उसमें आपको उसमें हायर फ्लायर भी है। वहाँ पर अभी हम कैसे वहाँ रहेंगे, बल्कि हम लोग को जो देखिए, हम लोग इसे आज रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं और अभी भी ऑलमोस्ट 1 मंथ बचा है। तो अभी भी अगर आप ये पॉडकास्ट सुन रहे हैं तो अभी भी आप, यू आर नॉट टू लेट, राइट। तो आप वहाँ पे फ्री में रह सकते हैं, 500 से 2000 रुपये की डॉर्मेट्री में रह सकते हैं, और 40-50 हज़ार रुपये पर डे की लग्जरी जर्मन कॉटेज में भी रह सकते हैं। तो वो भी खर्च कर रहे हैं और सारी बुकड है। मतलब मॉर्निंग अमावस्या के दिन 2 लाख कॉटेजेस सब बुकड हैं। तो इसका पैसा कोई दे रहा है ना, कोई तमिलनाडु से, कोई कैलिफोर्निया से, कोई लंदन से, कोई दिल्ली से उसका पैसा दे रहा है। इसमें एक चाय वाला भी पैसे कमा रहा है, एक फूल वाला भी पैसे कमा रहा है, खाने वाले जो खाना खिला रहे हैं वो भी पैसे कमा रहे हैं, और एक लग्जरी टेंट वाला भी पैसे कमा रहा है। मतलब फूल 8,000 करोड़ का बिक रहा है वहाँ पे। फूल की इकॉनमी है, सिर्फ 1700 करोड़ की फूड की इकॉनमी है 45 दिन की। उसमें चाय छोले से लेकर जो लग्जरी खाना है वो भी, जो कुजीन फूड है वो भी है। तो इट्स जस्ट जो आप लोग तो बोलते हैं इट्स अ नंबर गेम, इट्स अ वॉल्यूम गेम।
तो 15,000 करोड़ पे वापस आते हैं। क्या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में इंप्रूवमेंट किया, क्या कहाँ पे खर्चे हुए? 3,000 करोड़ का खर्चा हुआ है और बाकी के 12,000
करोड़ तो अरेंजमेंट में है।
ठीक है
कि भाई जैसे पहले 3,000 पे आते हैं। 3,000 अरेंजमेंट में। जैसे क्या होता है, प्रयाग कुंभ के साथ एक बड़ी टिपिकल चीज़ है, नदी का एक्सपेंस बहुत बड़ा है और नदी ना मैंडर करती हुई नदी है वो। हाँ, गंगा जमुना का है, सरस्वती तो वहाँ से विलुप्त हुई है। तो वो कौन सा बैंक छोड़ेगी राज, वो हमें 4-5 महीने पहले ही पता लगता है। और बैंक पे तो बहुत सारे टेंट लगने हैं। तो आप देखेंगे ना, जो मट्टी होगी बड़ी पोली पोली होगी। आप गूगल में देखेंगे, अब तो खैर योगी सरकार ने टाइप कर लिया है। पिछली बार वहाँ पे नदी आती थी, मतलब आप जहाँ चल रहे हैं वहाँ नदी थी 4 महीने पहले, क्योंकि नदी थी वहाँ पे। तो गवर्नमेंट क्या करती है, आयरन शीट बिछा देती है, मोटी मोटी आयरन शीट बिछा देती है, ऐसा ना। तो उस पर व्हीकल चलता है। तो जहाँ पे नदी थी, और नदी आ जाएगी 4-5 महीने बाद, तो और ऐसी आयरन शीट्स बिछी हुई है, मतलब किलोमीटर्स और किलोमीटर्स में। मतलब 400 हेक्टेयर मेला एरिया है। प्रयाग अलग है, ये अलग है। मतलब उत्तर प्रदेश में 75 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं, इस 45 डिस्ट्रिक्ट में 76 डिस्ट्रिक्ट हो जाता है। इसको डिस्ट्रिक्ट की तरह ट्रीट करा जाता है। इसका अपना डीएम, अपना एसपी, अपनी पूरा प्रशासन होता है इसका अपना सीएमओ, इसका अपना, ये पूरा एक शहर है ना अपना। क्योंकि इसमें यार, उसमें 20 लाख लोग हैं, इसमें 1 करोड़ लोग आ जाएंगे। तो ये तो उससे अपने होस्ट स्टेट से बड़ा हो गया, अपने होस्ट डिस्ट्रिक्ट से बड़ा हो गया। तो ये आयरन शीट बिछाई जा रही है। पैंटून ब्रिज बनाया जाता है, कम से कम 30 पैंटून ब्रिज है। पैंटून ब्रिज क्या होता है, एक कैप्सूल साइज का बड़ा आयरन स्ट्रक्चर, और उसके ऊपर फिर ये आयरन की शीट्स, जो टेम्पररी बना। ब्रिज जिस पे कार चल रही है, जिस पे ऑटो चल रहा है, जिसमें लोग चल रहे हैं। क्योंकि इतने सारे लोग नदी कैसे पार करेंगे, नाव में तो पार करेंगे नहीं सारे लोग। तो ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होता है, टेंट लगते हैं, इतने सारे लोग आएंगे तो टॉयलेट जाना होगा, तो 1.5 लाख टॉयलेट, उनको साफ करने के लिए 15,000 लोग, 10,000 लोग शहर में छोड़े हुए हैं। और देखो कितनी सेंसिटिव बात है, इन 15,000 लोग अधिकतर ना, ये क्या होता है, ये हस्बैंड वाइफ दोनों ही आ जाते हैं। कम से कम 15,000, मतलब 25,000 लोग आए तो 3-4 बच्चे हैं उनके लिए योगी सरकार ने टेम्पररी स्कूल खोल दिए वहाँ पे, कि वो ऐसे ना फिरते नहीं बेचारे, उनके लिए टेम्पररी स्कूल। तो उस लेवल तक की मेटिकुलस प्लानिंग है। फिर ये जो घाट है, वो कैसे, जहाँ पे डेवलप्ड घाट है वहाँ तो डेवलप्ड घाट है, नहीं तो कुछ टेम्पररी घाट बना दिए सैंडबैग से। जो बोट्स हैं वो बढ़ा दिए हैं, बोट्स को पेंट कर दिया है, बहुत सारे सुंदर सुंदर इंस्टॉलेशंस कर दिए हैं। तो ये तो है घाट की। महिलाओं के लिए चेंजिंग रूम्स कर दिए हैं, कि आप जब नहा के आएंगे तो आपको कपड़े बदलने, मतलब बिल्कुल जो छोटी चीज़ है। अब आते हैं जो परमानेंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्या बना है। प्रयाग में एयरपोर्ट ऑलमोस्ट ना के बराबर था, हफ्ते में एक फ्लाइट चलती थी। अब प्रयाग की मुंबई से डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट है ना, चेन्नई से डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट है, हैदराबाद से आप सीधे एक कनेक्टिंग फ्लाइट से जा सकते हैं। उसके बड़े बड़े टर्मिनल बना दिए, तो उसका टर्मिनल एक्सपेंशन। एविएशन, जब आप ज़्यादा फ्लाइट आते हैं तो आपको एयर ट्रैफिक कंट्रोल भी उसी तरह से मैनेज करना पड़ता है, तो उसमें आपका पैसा लगा। आप प्रयाग देखिए, ईस्टर्न यूपी में आता है प्रयाग। हमारी हाई कोर्ट भी है, हमारी यूपी की हाई कोर्ट जो है वो प्रयाग में लगती है, इलाहाबाद में लगती है। इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट ही बोलते हैं उसको। तो बल्कि ये बड़ी डिमांड रहती है वेस्टर्न यूपी की, भाई हमें वेस्ट से अपने हाई कोर्ट जाने में बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाती है। एक बेंच लखनऊ में भी है तो, लेकिन अब वहाँ पे गंगा एक्सप्रेस वे बन रहा है, वो भी ओपन हो जाएगा। लेकिन और जगह से कनेक्टिंग नेशनल हाईवेज जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट बना रही है और जो लोकल स्टेट हाईवेज हैं उनका सुधार हुआ कि वहाँ पे आदमी तुरंत गति से पहुँच पाए, क्योंकि हर आदमी तो प्रयाग में लैंड कर नहीं पाएगा। कोई काशी में लैंड करेगा, कोई अयोध्या में लैंड करेगा, कोई लखनऊ में लैंड, ये सारी जगह 3-4 घंटे दूर है सारी। तो रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हो गया। जब इतने सारे लोग आएंगे तो सीवेज मैनेजमेंट अलग लेवल, क्योंकि शहर में भी तो बहुत लोग बढ़ जाएंगे, होटलों में भी तो हर आदमी मेला सिटी में नहीं रहता है। और रिलेटिव जिसका भी रिलेटिव प्रयाग में है वो उसके रिलेटिव वहाँ पहुंच ही गए हैं। मतलब मान लिया प्रयाग की अपनी पॉपुलेशन 20 लाख है तो वो तो 60-70 लाख हो ही गई है। सबके 4-4 5-5 लोग आ गए, वो तो अच्छा ही। सोचो आपका रिलेटिव प्रयाग में हुआ, आपकी एकदम से एफिनिटी बढ़ जाएगी जाने, यार वो मौसी रहती हैं, चले ही जाओ, है ना। तो वो फैसिलिटी, तो वो सीवेज जो जनरेट करेंगे, तो सीवेज मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम बिल्कुल एडवांस लेवल का हो गया। स्ट्रीट लाइटिंग एडवांस लेवल की हो गई पूरी। जो चौराहे होते हैं एक शहर में कम से कम 100-200 चौराहे होते हैं, सारे चौराहे ब्यूटीफाई, मतलब कोई इंस्टॉलेशन लगा दी हर चौराहे पे। तो आप मतलब देखिए, शहर केवल सीवेज मैनेजमेंट और स्ट्रीट लाइटिंग नहीं है, शहर सर सुंदर भी लगना चाहिए ना, अपीलिंग भी लगना चाहिए। एक पेंट माई सिटी कैंपेन है, पूरे शहर की हज़ारों स्क्वायर फीट वॉल्स पे बड़े बड़े म्यूरल बना दिए, मतलब बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग पे म्यूरल बने। कहीं अमिताभ बच्चन बने, कहीं हरिवंश राय बच्चन बने, कहीं महादेव वर्मा, ये सारे प्रेमचंद, मुंशी प्रेमचंद, सारे प्रयाग के लोग हैं, सारे इलाहाबाद के लोग हैं, सारे उनके बड़े बड़े, मतलब 4 फ्लोर की बिल्डिंग पे हरिवंश राय बच्चन बने। तो सिटी को बिल्कुल एक मॉडर्न सिटी की तरह बना दिया। तो जो भी अर्बन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के एलिमेंट्स होते हैं, जो लाइटिंग, जो स्ट्रीट लाइटिंग, जो अर्बन मैनेजमेंट से, उन सब पे खर्च हुआ है पैसा। तभी मैंने कहा कि 80% पैसा उस पर खर्च हुआ है, और तो एलिवेट हो गया। और जो कनेक्टिंग रोड है, जो आसपास के जो बड़े 10 डिस्ट्रिक्ट हैं, उनसे मैं कैसे पहुंचूं, मतलब कहीं से मैं चौक ना हो कि आदमी ने लखनऊ होते हुए आना पड़ेगा आपको, तो आपको यही होते हुए आना, तो सारा ट्रैफिक लखनऊ डाइवर्ट हो जाएगा। ऐसा नहीं, आप जहाँ से हैं उसी आर्टरी से आप चले आए, तो इसलिए उस पर खर्च हुआ है पैसा।
World's largest religious gathering, a magnificent convergence of faith, culture, and tradition. The Maha Kumbh Mela is the experience of a lifetime. It is believed that taking a holy dip in the river during this time washes away sins and liberates one from the cycle of life and death. Millions of devotees and tourists from around the world will throng the city of Prayagraj in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. This monumental event will take place from the 13th of January to the 26th of February. The city is all set to witness a profound display of devotion, unity, and vibrant expression of India's religious heritage.
Har Har Mahadev!
Held once every 12 years, the Maha Kumbh Mela, it is a time for pilgrims from all across the world to come to Prayagraj. They visit the confluence of the Ganga, the Yamuna, and the mythical Saraswati rivers in India to take a dip in the holy waters, to cleanse themselves of sins, and to break the cycle of rebirth and achieve spiritual liberation. Maha Kumbh is not the same as Kumbh. These are two significant Hindu religious gatherings that attract millions of devotees. But there are some differences between the two. Let's find out. The Maha Kumbh Mela occurs once every 12 years and is considered the most sacred of all Kumbh Melas. On the other hand, the Kumbh Mela is celebrated every 3 years, rotating between 4 locations: Haridwar, Ujjain, Nashik and Prayagraj, with each location hosting the Maha Kumbh Mela in a cycle that ensures each site is featured once every 12 years. The Maha Kumbh Mela is held in Prayagraj, where the Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati rivers converge. It is a grander event that draws a larger crowd compared to other Kumbh Melas. It is believed that participating in this event provides immense spiritual benefits, including purification of sins and attainment of salvation. An estimated 400 million devotees are expected at the Maha Kumbh Mela 2025, making it the largest religious gathering in the world. While the Kumbh Mela generally sees fewer participants than the Maha Kumbh due to its more frequent occurrence and smaller scale. The Maha Kumbh Mela is more than a religious gathering. It is a celebration of humanity, faith and cultural heritage. The sense of togetherness that the Maha Kumbh Mela cultivates is one of its most important aspects. It unites people from all backgrounds, castes and creeds. In addition to the rituals and practices of the Maha Kumbh Mela, several other captivating attractions make the upcoming event in Prayagraj even more remarkable. The city of Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh has undergone an extensive renovation and restoration drive to accommodate the needs of tens of thousands of devotees from around the world who will attend the Maha Kumbh 2025. Evolving into a vibrant canvas of culture, art and innovation, the Uttar Pradesh administration has created an unforgettable experience for the millions of visitors. From lighting up the streets to painting the walls, the city has been transformed into a visual and spiritual paradise. As part of the beautification initiative, around 67,000 LED streetlights and 2,000 hybrid lights have been installed across the Maha Kumbh site. Even the street walls of Prayagraj have turned into a vast canvas, with mythological artworks enhancing the city's landscape. Over 70 artists worked tirelessly to paint large murals across the city. Maha Kumbh 2025 will feature unprecedented security measures, with the deployment of drones capable of monitoring 100 meters underwater and 120 meters above the ground. Authorities recently conducted a series of security and rescue drills in Prayagraj. Police and paramilitary forces took part in the drills to assess their preparedness for the mega event.
We are planning to make this Maha Kumbh a digital Kumbh, and all the preparations, security arrangements are digitally done. As you can see, you have seen some of it in these our camera management and feed management. Whatever information we will get, you can just pan towards this side. These are our communication grids. Since this is a large Mela area and various people are connected to us and we need their help, so we have divided these into different grids. We have got about 18 grids. Whatever information we are getting from here, we will pass on to these grids, and they will convey immediately through wireless sets to the concerned people.
There is also a focus on preventing fire-related incidents across the 4,200-hectare Mela area. An increased number of fire personnel and special fire vehicles have been positioned across the 4,000-hectare Mela area. State-of-the-art equipment, including AI-powered fire detection cameras, are being used to monitor potential fire outbreaks. To ensure the safety of visitors, the Uttar Pradesh administration has introduced an innovative measure. Deploying a team of specially trained horses for security. Around 130 horses, including American, London and Hindustani breeds, will patrol the sprawling fairgrounds. The American warm blood horses, known for their agility and strength, are the most expensive, costing up to $8,000 each. London breeds follow at $5,000, while the Hindustani horses, sturdy and reliable, are priced between $1,000 to $2,000. These horses, along with their trained riders, will help manage crowds and respond to emergencies swiftly, ensuring a safe and smooth experience for the millions of pilgrims expected to attend this spiritual mega event. The Uttar Pradesh administration has set up a sprawling tent city on the banks of the Triveni Sangam. The tent city provides a variety of accommodations, catering to pilgrims and tourists visiting from around the world. Nestled at a distance of just a few kilometers from the Triveni Sangam, the Arail area has become a preferred site for these premium setups. It offers easy access to the bathing ghats and other attractions. Approximately 400 million people are expected to arrive in Prayagraj during the Maha Kumbh 2025. The Uttar Pradesh government has implemented several special arrangements for visitors in the city. A memorandum of understanding was signed between the global tech giant Google and the Prayagraj Mela Authority to assist devotees and tourists in locating major roads and important religious sites throughout the campus. The Kumbh is also known for the akharas and the Naga Sadhu. For common people, the word akhara is an obvious reference to wrestling, but in the case of Kumbh, akhara assumes a different meaning. The word akhara is the distorted form of the word akhand, which means indivisible. Akharas were established for uniting followers of similar religious customs, views, and ideologies. Despite being divided under various organizations, akharas are a symbol of unity among diversity. Naga seers hold special significance in these akharas. Each Naga seer is always associated with some or the other akhara. Niranjani Akhara, one of the most revered and monastic akharas in India, plays a vital role in the religious landscape of the Kumbh Mela. This akhara is located on the eastern side of the river Ganga, where most of the large camps are located. It is the largest area in the entire Maha Kumbh tent city by size. Founded by Adi Shankaracharya, a Hindu philosopher in the 7th century, Niranjani Akhara is one of the 13 prominent akharas within the Kumbh Mela. This akhara is not only known for its religious guidance, but also its emphasis on education. Reportedly, 70% of its saints hold advanced degrees, making it a hub of wisdom and devotion.
हमारे यहाँ जितने बच्चे हैं कहीं बच्चे ऐसे आते हैं जो हमारे यहाँ पढ़ के बाद में वापस जाते हैं। संत बनने के बाद हमारे यहाँ एक विद्यालय है, उस विद्यालय में सभी संत जाते हैं और सभी अपनी अपनी जो एजुकेशन है, जिसको कोई पाठ सीखना है, जो भी कोई कार्य करना है, वो वहाँ पे सीखता है। अपने हमारे टीचर रखे हुए हैं।
Along with religion and spirituality, education is also given equal importance at the Maha Kumbh. The Uttar Pradesh Education Department has established 5 Vidya Kumbh primary schools, equipped with all basic amenities for the children of 15,000 sanitation workers who are toiling hard to keep the Maha Kumbh grounds clean in Prayagraj. The initiative aims to provide free and quality education to the children of working families. In these schools, holistic education is being given through digital classrooms, educational kits, and learning through play. Children have been provided books, pencils, school uniforms, sweaters, and other educational materials under the Umang kit.
इस वर्ष शासन ने पूरे कुंभ क्षेत्र में अभी तक 5 विद्यालय खोलने की योजना बनाई है। हर सैनिटेशन कॉलोनी में एक विद्यालय। ये वो बच्चे हैं जो बगल में हमारे सैनिटेशन कॉलोनी, जो हमारे कामगार श्रमिक आकर के बस यहाँ रह कर के काम कर रहे हैं कुंभ मेला क्षेत्र में सफाई का, उनके बच्चे जो उनके साथ जा नहीं सकते, उनके लिए सरकार ने ये व्यवस्था की है कि हर सैनिटेशन कॉलोनी के बगल में एक विद्यालय इस बार खोला।
कुंभ के दौरान जो मजदूर लेबर वर्ग जो आता है, उनके साथ उनके बच्चे भी हैं, जो छोटे बच्चे हैं वो भी उनके साथ आते हैं। तो अब हमारे यहाँ ये सोचा गया कि उनकी जो पढ़ाई है वो डिस्टर्ब ना हो, क्योंकि वो वहाँ से जहाँ से हैं वो माइग्रेट होकर यहाँ इलाहाबाद आ चुके हैं, तो अब उनकी पढ़ाई डिस्टर्ब ना हो, तो हमारे विभाग ने कहा कि इस तरह से विद्यालय हम बनाते हैं।
The Maha Kumbh Mela, a significant festival in Hindu mythology, is the world's largest religious gathering. A special Ganga Aarti was performed by women at the Triveni Sangam on the 5th of January. This Ganga Aarti ritual held at Prayagraj also serves as a rehearsal for the upcoming Maha Kumbh Mela. Held at the Triveni Sangam once every 12 years, Maha Kumbh Mela draws millions of devotees to Prayagraj.
This is the confluence of 3 holy rivers: the Ganga, the Yamuna, and the mythical Saraswati. The last one an invisible river existing in mythology. Hindus believe the holy waters of these rivers washes away all mortal sins. This belief makes Prayagraj one of 4 holy sites chosen to host the world's largest religious gathering, the Kumbh Festival. Every 6 years, millions of pilgrims flock here in search of salvation. When they come, a temporary city, 2/3 the size of Manhattan, springs up on these riverbanks. And with this many people packed into an area of over 12 square miles, stampedes are always a risk. With previous Kumbh Melas reporting a number of deaths due to overcrowding, the task of ensuring the safety of the pilgrims falls on the 20,000 police officers deployed at Prayagraj, especially for this festival. How is it possible to monitor the welfare of the 220 million people expected to attend the 50-day-long Kumbh? Deputy Inspector General K.P. Singh pioneers a modern solution to this ancient problem.
This time we have used more than 1,000 plus cameras. So we tried to incorporate technology with the best people. So it was a new experiment altogether.
In the control room, Singh's team uses artificial intelligence to analyze the live feeds from over 1,000 fixed and drone cameras positioned around the festival. This allows them to watch over pilgrims across the whole site around the clock. The technology uses an algorithm which measures the number of pilgrims in real time in specific areas and analyzes crowd densities. It raises soft alerts for more than 3 people per square meter and strong alerts for more than 5. This helps inform the team about the areas in danger of becoming overcrowded. Singh uses this data to instruct his teams on the ground which manage crowds, eliminating bottlenecks and averting injury.
Ashilji, thank you for having me here. Let's get to Maha Kumbh. It is the biggest and the most powerful spiritual gathering on earth. It is said that to understand Maha Kumbh, let's understand what Kumbh is. Okay, the term Kumbh has been used in Ved, in Puran, and Kumbh stands for a pot, a pitcher that is filled. And when you understand what a Kumbh is, the Kumbh Mela we call it. The Kumbh is filled with water. The water is the nectar. And Mela in simple language is a joyous gathering. So this Maha Kumbh, it is a joyous gathering of what? The union of the Jivatma with the Paramatma. And when we understand the Kumbh Mela in detail, it has the most powerful history. To pinpoint a specific date is very, very difficult. Why it is happening after 12 years? What is the meaning of 144? Let's understand that. This, in fact, to go in detail, Kumbh happens at 4 places. And there's a very beautiful story of how the churning of the Milky Ocean has happened and how the nectar has fallen. So the Kumbh is that nectar, and of course the Atman is that nectar. Samudra Manthan, yes.
Let's go into the Samudra Manthan story and then come, because I think that's important, right?
Yeah. So every story has a very beautiful meaning, especially in all our Purans, and entire Sanatan Dharma is story based, but it has a meaning because this human is connected to the cosmos. So there's a very beautiful story that comes in all the Puran basically. And it says that the gods, the devas, were losing their divinity. And they were cursed by the great Durvasa, of course, for a reason, to make them realize how precious everything is. And at that time, as the story goes, they go running to Vishnu Bhagwan. They ask for solution. And of course, Bhagwan says that it's time to do the manthan, the grinding of the Milky Ocean. And as Bhagwan says that, it's time you go do the manthan. So he takes the form of a tortoise. Then there's the mountain. Then Vasuki, the snake of Bhagwan, becomes that raw. And they start grinding. Now, when they start grinding it, different important things come out with time. With time, everything comes out. And at one point of time, Dhanvantri, the god of Ayurveda, comes out. And he gets a pitcher. And that is the Kumbh. In that, there is Amrit, the nectar of life, which is the experience of the Atman, if I get it in normal terms. It is said when the grinding was happening, this pot was attacked by the Asuras also. Now, coming back to the story, the Devas and the Asuras had to grind it because it was not possible by only the gods to do it. So in that thing, the gods decided that they will pull the nectar. The Devas and the Asuras had a fight. In that time, it is said that Jayant, the son of Indra, took this pot and gave it to the gods called Sun, Moon, Jupiter and Shani. And he was running with that pot for 12 days. That one day of God is 1 year of human. So it took 12 years. Historically, I'll explain how it happens in astronomy also and what is the esoteric meaning also. So 1 day of God is 1 human year. So 12 days, it took 12 years. And while running with it, it fell on 4 important spots. One is Haridwar, second is Ujjain, third is Nasik, and the fourth is Prayagraj, which is the most important. It is said that the Kumbh that happens at Prayagraj is the oldest. Also, there are many people saying that Haridwar is the oldest, but to pinpoint in human years, we can't comprehend it. So what is the story? This is the Puranic story. Now let's understand the astronomical and astrological story. 3 important planets are very, very important. The sun, moon. The sun is the giver of life. Moon is the lord of the mind. And Jupiter is the guru. And when they 3 align, that is when the Kumbh happens. When the sun, the Jupiter and the moon, they come in that fraction of seconds in a certain alignment, everything is charged. And especially the rivers of Bharat. We call them the arteries and veins of Bharat. And at that point, the spiritual energy is at peak. Now, understanding the Kumbh from a spiritual point of view. Whatever little I'm understanding and how to translate and break it down, the 12 years, they stand for the 12 senses of human being. The 5 karmendriya, the 5 gyanendriya, the mind and the intellect. The 4 spots, they stand for the 4 goals of life. Dharma, Arth, Kam and Moksha. Dharma is Haridwar, Arth is Ujjain, Kam is Nasik and Moksha is Prayagraj. So if a sadhak goes with that intention and at that specific time when everything is in alignment, everything is beautifully in that constellation alignment and he has a dip, he goes to the 4 goals of life. So these esoteric stories have to be understood in sadhana and one should go with that attitude. See, it takes approximately 12 years for Jupiter to come into alignment. And at that time, see, I'll tell you a simple example. During COVID, because of that, we were affected. Anything that is happening in the nature affects us. Similarly, there are certain alignments of planet. When they happen, they directly affect our spiritual growth. And that time, that alignment is so perfect to do your sadhana, to have a dip, and also to do tap. So Kumbh is the time where we do tap, and that dip. So now, coming back again, there is Ardha Kumbh and there is Maha Kumbh. So there is an annual Kumbh that happens at Prayagraj annually. Then there is Ardha Kumbh that happens only at Haridwar and Prayagraj after 6 years. Then there is Maha Kumbh which happens after 12 years. And this Kumbh which is happening, this is the Maha Kumbh which is happening after 144 years, 12 into 12. To trace the time it is very, very difficult. But yes, it is the Maha Kumbh. Now why the dip? What is the alignment? Again, it has spiritual meaning and of course physical meaning also. There is something very interesting. No, at Prayagraj, the Kumbh is the oldest. In fact, it is said that at Prayagraj there is Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. It is a Sangam. In Ramcharitra-manas, it is said that Tulsidas Ji, the great, says that Prayagraj is a Sangam of moving saints, of sadhus. Where Ganga Ma is the bhakti of Sri Ram. So that attitude of a sadhak day to day is very required. Where Yamuna Ma is one who teaches us the karmic bonds. And Saraswati Ma, which flows underneath, is the one who gives us gyan and the knowledge of the self. So for an individual sadhak, if he goes to, or he or she goes to Prayagraj, that intention is very, very important. That a Kumbh is possible only because of sadhus. If there are no sadhus, there is no Kumbh. And that esoteric meaning, that the union of bhakti, karma and gyan coming together. And imagine when that Ganga Ma is so charged and you have that attitude, it is said, we dip in the Ganga 3 times and punya will happen. Punya will happen only when you have the right intention, the right bhav and the nature supporting you also. So for a sadhak, if you're going for a Kumbh, 13th is the arrival of the new moon. That is unofficial announcement of Kumbh. There is something very important that people miss out. There is something known as the Kalpavasis. We'll talk about them in detail. Then 14th is Makar Sankranti. Uttarayan starts. That is the movement of the sun in the northern hemisphere. And it is said that it is very good to start sadhana. So on that day we have, that is the first Shahi Snan. Also we'll throw light on Shahi Snan. Then we have 29th is Mauni Amavas. If that day you go for Maha Kumbh, it is the most crowded place, but the most powerful place. It is said that it is an Amavas, great sadhak comes there. There's a great gathering and the power to do your sadhana is amplified. Then we have 3rd Feb, which is Basant Panchami. It is the day when we worship Ma Saraswati, the giver of knowledge. Then we have 13th, we have Marg Purnima. It is the day where we pray for our ancestors. So Maha Kumbh consists of these important days. And last, it ends on 26th Feb, that is Mahashivratri. So every day is important. But these 6 days, if you take a dip and have the right intention, you can just boom on your spiritual experiences and your sadhana. So for a common person, this is very important.
You said we'll touch on 2 things.
Yeah. When we talk about Maha Kumbh, the first thing that comes to us is Naga Sadhus, the Agoris. We don't talk about a very important element, that is the Kalpavasis. What makes a Maha Kumbh? The Maha Kumbh is made by the brahmacharya of the sadhus. We people going for darshan are called tirtha yatras. Tirth is something, a divine place or something we can cross the ocean of sanskaras. We are yatris. And the third is the kalpavasis. These are special people, householders, who stay there for a month, especially during the Magh, and they do sadhana. So when these three elements come together and that divinity of the planets, the Maha Kumbh is possible.
So the Kalpavasis, they are also Tirthavasis though. But they are longer Tirthavasis.
Yes, and they do certain sadhanas. So Kalpavasis, they do dan, they do snan, and they do tap. So they shave their heads. Very minimum eating. They read scriptures. They go to different akharas. And for 1 month, they leave everything and they just pray. So we as Tirthayatris, we go. So a Maha Kumbh for few people is a snan, for few people is a tap, and for few people is getting blessings by the greatest Nagas and Sadhus, which we don't see in our day-to-day life.
What I've also understood is the Maha Kumbh or the Kumbh is the union of Sanatan Dharma coming together in one place, right? It is, it's really where the celebration of divine joy, of, you know, in a sense, it is what Vanamali Ma spoke about on this particular podcast, where she spoke about that, you know, there are 33 crore ways to the divine. Yes. And all those 33 crore ways and its infinite possibilities are all there in one place. So what happens at the Maha Kumbh?
Maha Kumbh is celebration of life. People say that it's crowded, it's dirty, it's everything. But trust me, when you look from a sadhak's point of view, it is a place where actually one of the greatest saints, they also go in moksha. It is a place where you start your journey when Naga sadhus are initiated. It is a place where a non-believer can actually transcend into higher states. And it is a place where there is no royalty, no king, no queen, no sadhak. Everyone is one there. It's a joyous moment that should be celebrated. But it requires a lot of courage, because when you enter Maha Kumbh, the frequency and everything will transform you. So you should be mentally strong.
So, Tirthayatris, you know, I guess some of us in this Maha Kumbh are going to end up being Tirthayatris, because we will go there and we will try to experience it for a few days and come back. So, you know, if you're going to be a potential Tirthayatri, I hope this is helpful to you, because we'll talk a little bit about the journey of the Tirthayatri also. But the Kalpavasis, I'm interested to know a bit about them. You know, like what... let me ask very rudimentary questions, like, you know, what is the age like? What typically a Kalpavasi, why does somebody decide to become a Kalpavasi?
Yeah, you know, it is very amazing, because Kalpavasi, Kalpa means 432 crore years is 1 day of Brahma. Kalpa also means to take a sankalp. And Vasi is a person who's staying there. So Kalpavasi is a person who has taken a certain sankalp and staying there and doing his stuff. And it is very amazing, because if you go there on the invocation of Ma Saraswati, all the Kalpavasis, they wear yellow. And they pray to Ma Saraswati and in some state of ecstasy. This 1 month, they are householders, aging, married couples, senior, even after 2022, they just take that tub for 1 month. And a Kalpavasi has only one intention. They do their mantra chanting. They do snan 3 times in the Sangam. They do their jap, havan, and for 1 month they lead a life of a tapasvi in complete brahmacharya to control the mind. And of course, the energy is so high, so they move in their sadhanas. Many Kalpavasis also get initiated in this time, depending upon their karmic bonds.
How does it feel to move in your sadhana? Like, you know, what is that? Can you describe that feeling? Because there are so many people across the country now who've started doing their sadhana and they don't know, am I moving in my sadhana or not? I know that a place like Prayagraj with the Maha Kumbh, with the confluence of the rivers, with the divine gathering that it is, will have a movement needle on you. My question is slightly different from that, which is that if I'm a sadhak, how do I know I'm moving forward?
Personally talking, if you are a sadhak, the moment you learn how to respond, The moment you realize that I have been tested, and the moment you become more calm and composed, that is a sign that means you're leveling up. At the same time, to put it in another language, the more sadhana you do, the higher you will be tested. So the more you think that, I've controlled my jealousy, for example, now tomorrow if you have another problem and you don't react to it, that is an upgrade. And at times, the divinity will contact you in many ways. You will be supported in many ways, in different forms and different people.
How do I know if divinity is contacting me and it's not my delusion, but divinity is contacting me? Like, there could be that phase.
There's a very fine line between delusion and having an experience. The moment you're not attached to any experience, you are good. The moment you have realized that even good is divine and even bad is divine, that means you're on the right path.
Yeah, it's tough, right?
It's very tough.
It's
very,
tough.
very difficult.
I mean, I just don't want to leave it like, okay, it's easy by just saying some words here.
It is very, very difficult. And you never know when the ego rises up. We never know.
I'll come back to the Kumbh Mela.
Yes.
And the Shahi Snan.
Yes.
What is the Shahi Snan and what is it all about? And why is it so revered and written about?
The Shahi Snan is something that holds the Maha Kumbh together. In fact, if you realize, there are akharas. There are 13 organizations that run the akharas, out of which 7 are Shaivya, 3 are Vaishnava, 1 is Udasin, 2 and 1 is Sikh. In Prayagraj, the Shahi Snan that starts is only with the Shaiva sadhus, then Vishnu sadhus, and then. So generally what I'm trying to tell you is Shahi Snan is an occasion where all the Naga sadhus, they jump and they surrender themselves, because for them everything is Divine Mother only. And that is the beginning. And after that also the Kalpavasis who take their Sankalp. So it is a site where you realize that at the end there is nothing.
So when does the Shahi Snan happen?
It starts, actually, we are planning personally to wake up early in the morning and wait for the first dip when the sadhu is taken. It happens early. It depends, not this time, I have to check the calendar, but 13th is unofficial, 14th is the first one. Actually, according to my understanding, Maha Kumbh Kumbh is a space where all sadhu comes, they come together, and it was a meeting point because it is very difficult to get hold of Naga sadhus. They don't live here. Naga sadhu, it comes from, Nag means naked, they are naked, and they belong to the mountains. So during this time, they used to come. And these Naga sadhus also practice martial arts. So when the Peshwai comes, it is a show that they have come to surrender to Mother.
And, when there's this confluence of all these various ways of the Sanatan Dharma coming together, what kind of discussions are happening there? What are some of the things that they are discussing?
You won't believe there's only celebration. Bhandara is a thing where they just distribute food, and it's a get-together for them, where they just, how we catch up. They catch up, they talk about their sadhanas, from Naga sadhus to Vedantis to... It's a beautiful get-together. And, it is a time where some great saints also walk in. So, which we can just pray that we get their darshan. Very interesting. The Naga sadhus are amazing. No one knows about them much. And they are the warriors of Sanatan. The Kumbh is going on from World War I, World War II, during the Mughals, during everything. And they were the warriors protecting. They are warriors, and, generally I think they are very quiet in their own world. They don't like to mingle around with people. What also I've noticed that, imagine you being in a state where you are completely into Vairagya. You don't care what you're wearing. You see the mother world, the sky has your blanket, the earth has your bed, and you're completely in surrender, not demanding anything, completely. That is the state of a Naga. They are warriors, but at the end also they are Vedantis. They know that everything comes from the same source.
How does one become a Naga sadhu?
This is the time when they initiate hundreds of Nagas. So the process is they shave their head. It's a very beautiful. Then Janayu is given. Then the main guru gives them the mantra, and their journey starts. So Kumbh is something which is very important, because it also takes Sanatan ahead. At the same time, people like us who are waiting to see actual gurus and saints, this is the time. This is the time.
And the Aghoris.
Aghoris,
they have been written about, understood, misunderstood. Who are the Aghoris? So Naga Sadhu is very interesting, that protectors of the Sanatan Dharma. I want to ask a bit more about that, but I'll let you complete about the Aghoris.
See, Aghoris, there's a lot of misconception about Aghoris that they do this, they do that, they do black magic. I believe an Aghor is a person who has completely surrendered to Shakti. If you see fecal matter, if you see divine, and if you see this table all has one, you are an Aghor. And generally an Aghor doesn't like to interact much. They're happy in their own world. Actual Aghor will never step out. It is this time when they come, they'll be in a corner, do their sadhana, internally do their own tap, and they leave. Recently I was seeing an article, and it is, we were there at Prayag, and there's a small akhara made for them. So I'm very excited to get an actual blessing of an Aghor. And they're very quiet. They don't disturb anyone.
Have you had conversations with Naga Sadhus, Aghors?
Very blessed to have a conversation with Aghoris here.
And is it possible to share a little bit about what you all spoke about?
I met an Aghor in Kashi, and we should go there. Very interesting, modern speaking, and said something very beautiful about Kali. He said that, why are you worried when she's holding you? Just stick to your mantra and she will take you. She is your guru. So I realized that the concept that we have, that they'll tell us to do this sadhana, that sadhana. At the end, you may take any path, it comes to surrender. And we think that these Aghors don't know. They're very well educated Aghors also, living normally.
What is the life schedule of a Aghor like?
An actual Aghor, I was very blessed to meet an Aghor in Bombay, in Turbe, a long time ago. They don't step out. What is day for you is night for them. What is night for you is day for them. So when we go to sleep, they start their sadhana. An actual Aghor, if they want to travel, they will only move from one smashan to another in the night. And they're very calm and very quiet. So I don't know why it has been projected like this, but they have surrendered everything. I was very blessed. I just touched their feet and got their blessings. But yes, I'm very, very excited and praying that I get a blessing and some conversation from them. They are like warriors. Few sadhus like camera, few sadhus like conversation, few don't. So it is said when you go to Maha Kumbh, just chant Har Har Mahadev. Just keep on chanting Har Har Mahadev, Ram Ram. Anything what is happening, keep on chanting and just keep on walking. I will talk practically because by his Leela we were there. If you are planning to go to the Maha Kumbh, see to it that you're living in the area next to the Sangam. If you're planning to stay outside, impossible, because the roads are going to be closed and you will need to walk 3-4 kilometers. And it will be so crowded that 3-4 kilometers is going to take you evening. Secondly, be in complete surrender and acceptance. Be open because you never know who you will encounter. Be very mindful, and wherever you get a chance of taking a blessing of a guru, just take it. Thirdly, try to close your eyes and do some tap there. So I would believe, as we are going, we are living in a tent, very locally, and try to get a dip. If not possible, then just be and meditate. There are very modern saints also come. They do have their bandaras, they have their talks. Many great saints also talk. So try to get, this is the time where, it's like you're in a candy store. Yeah. You should just grab everything as possible. That curiosity and bhav should be there. Otherwise, you will miss out. Yeah, the snan, the first is 13th. 14th is the Shahi Snan. That is Makar Sankranti. Then comes 29th. That is the second Shahi Snan, which is 14th is Uttarayan. Then comes Mauni Amavas. Then is the Feb Basant Panchami. These three are the most important snan, but Mauni Amavas, whoever has spoken, all are coming there for Mauni Amavas. It is said when many tantrics are also initiated and a lot of sadhana goes on. It is very powerful.
So these
3 other shais.
3 dates.
Yes.
And what are the other important dates?
In fact, people take a dip there, but these 3 have the highest importance for Prayagraj.
Why these 3? You want to touch a bit on why these?
Because for the first, Makar Sankranti is the Uttarayan, which is very beneficial to start a sadhana for a sadhak. Second is Moni Amavis. It is the day when many people, many gurus also initiate their sadhaks for higher sadhana. And Basant Panchami is the day for Maha Saraswati, the Gyan. It is said on Basant Panchami, all the Apsaras and all the higher lokas, deities, they come and give blessings. These 3 are very important. And of course, the urge of spiritual evolution is more. Many people also say that, oh, it is so dirty. How can we have a dip? But I'm sure everyone knows that Ganga has healing properties. And studies, they have done some studies saying that people who have a dip in Ganga during that time, the immunity is very strong. But you know what I take and what I understand? The Samudra Manthan is the human body. The mountain is the spine. The grinding of devas and asuras is the thoughts, positive and negative. The halahal that is coming out is Shiv, which is drinking it and removing everything. And what remains is the nectar.
Wow.